I just finished watching Sardar Udham, and I don't think I'm ever going to get around to writing about this, so I'm just going to make a video. Honestly, the more I learn about colonial history, the angrier it makes me. I went to Jallianwala Bagh when I was in school, when I was 14, and conceptually I thought I understood the idea. It was horrible, lots of people died, it was really scary. It was really scary being there and seeing that well that people had jumped into, and the walls that were just had all these bullet holes in them and everything. And you think you get it, but you don't actually stop and think about what happens after the shooting. You see these numbers, so many people dead, so many people wounded. But in this movie, you see what it's like to walk in there and see those bodies and pick them up and step in a puddle of blood and see dismembered body parts. Like, that's the stuff that you don't stop and think about when you visit there, because you don't have any life experience that could even allow you to extrapolate that. I think this is the first time in 16 years since I went to Jallianwala Bagh that I think I'm starting to understand what happened there because of this movie. And I've seen a couple of other freedom movement movies with all these big names, and they really focus on the heroism of the Indians and things like that, but they don't really tell you about the cruelty of the British Empire at that time. They don't really tell you about the entitlement with which they ruled us. And a couple of years ago, a friend of mine who lives in London told me that British schools don't teach colonial history at all. So British kids grow up not knowing anything about what their country did. And as Indian kids, we learn a lot of facts and figures, and we learn a lot of numbers and dates and names, but we don't really know. We are not really taught what it means to have gone through that. And I feel like this movie is the first one that I've seen that really, truly showcases the gore and the blood and the heartbreak that came with British rule. And I feel like, the Allied forces were so proud of themselves for having, beaten the Nazis. But what were you doing? What were you doing? Were you doing anything different in the countries that you just planted yourself in and declared were yours? It's not a competition, but just this idea that, we saved so many people. Yeah, but you've also killed so many. And why is that not in your history books? You're only going to write in your history books all the things that you did right? I can't even get into the fact that it's a beautifully made movie and great performances and all that, because I'm just so angry. I'm angry that our education system does not fully, clearly articulate what it means for our country to have gone through the shit that it went through pre-independence. And that I've had to piece this together over the years, because I don't have a background in history or political science or anything. Educationally, I studied engineering, I don't know. And so I'm having to read about this now as an adult, and I just can't believe that we as human beings can do this to each other and justify it as for their own good and they deserved it and it prevented something worse, and it's unbelievable the ways in which we justify to ourselves the cruelty that we impose on others. Anyway, it's already 5 minutes long. So watch the movie, guys. I can't explain anything else until you watch it. So